It's the beginning of a new month, and what we do here is we plan our meals for the entire month. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do, you wanna take inventory of everything that you have. So that means you go through your fridge first, you go through your freezer, and then you go through your pantry. The reason why you wanna do these things that are in your fridge are the things that are gonna go bad the quickest. And the last is your pantry, mainly because those things are shelf stable and they will last a lot longer.
So while I'm going through and taking inventory of what's in my fridge, I'm also checking expiration dates. One, to make sure nothing has expired, and for my mind as well, just to know how long I have until I have to use something up.
All right, so I've gone through and I've made a list of everything that's in my fridge, freezer, and pantry. So now we're gonna walk over to our calendar so we can get started. Okay, so now that I've gone through my pantry, I've made a list of everything that's there. I've made a list of everything that I have in my fridge that I need to use up and things that I have in my freezer. The way to kind of build up your stockpile is if you can take a little bit of your budget every week and put it towards, maybe there's a certain meat that's on sale that you'll be able to afford an extra one of, or canned goods are on sale and you're able to take a little bit of your budget to put towards buying a couple more cans. That is how you can build up a small stockpile of food for, in case of an emergency, in case you lose your job, you never know, right? So it's always important to keep a couple things at least on hand to get you through rough times if you have any. But the important thing is not just to hoard it and to keep it in the fridge or keep it in the pantry. You want to always rotate through it. So now that you have it, use it and then take your budget for this week and then go and replace. And that's kind of the way that I like to do my grocery shopping. I get to benefit from using all of the sales, but I'm still going through my inventory. I'm still making sure things are getting used up. So we're gonna get started with some meal planning. What I have here is, I have my handy notebook, plain page. What this is going to be is groceries. So I'm going to base my meals off of what I have. And then if there are some things maybe that I'm missing, then I can pop them here on the grocery list and I can pick them up the next time that I'm out at the grocery store. But if it's something that I think that I can just get away with not having, I won't put it on here. If I can get away without having to buy it to put it into this specific meal, then we'll just go without. Another really handy tip that I have, I just started this and I think it's actually quite helpful, is I just keep a list of meal ideas and I just keep it tucked in to this little calendar here. It has a little envelope slip. It's just a bunch of meal ideas that you know that your family will eat and will enjoy. This, in conjunction with your list of what you have on hand, helps make this go so much faster because you won't have to sit there and think about, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna make? Well, you have a look at what you have, you have a look at what your family likes, and you just match them all together, and that makes things really speedy when you're trying to plan for the month. The other thing that you'll see is for this month, I don't really include leftovers a whole bunch when I'm doing my dinners, mainly because of how right now I'm on maternity leave, my husband works from home, and the kiddo's not really going to school full time at the moment because of COVID. We eat a lot of our leftovers as our lunches. So you won't see me plan lunches on here because chances are if there's leftovers of any of these meals, we're having it for lunch the next day. If we don't have leftovers, then I keep deli meat also in the freezer that you'll see I didn't include here on my freezer list. And that's mainly because the deli meat I know is more of a lunch item. So I kind of save that for instances where we don't have leftovers. Another thing that you will also see me do a lot is in my recipes here. Sure, in beef, I have, let's see, what do I have here? Shepherd's pie. So shepherd's pie, if I have more turkey, ground turkey in the freezer than I do ground beef, I will substitute. Just making sure that you're using up what you have and making substitutions if you need to. That's the way that you're able to use up everything in your inventory and save the most money, because chances are I probably got the turkey on sale, and so now I'm using the sale meat, which I saved money on, to make my meal with. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to wanna write any important dates on your calendar which you will not necessarily need to make dinner for. I have a couple of anniversaries and a couple of birthdays, so I will plan my meals around that and according to that. So as for what I had in my fridge, I have eggs, milk, a little bit of cheese. I have a bunch of carrots, so I'm going to include carrots in a couple of my meals. I have half a red onion left. I have some little mini bell peppers. My husband likes to eat those raw, so I might actually leave them for the first little bit, and then once they start going a little sad, then I'll maybe include them as a side for one of my meals, kind of like some sauteed bell peppers. I have loads of sour cream, which we like to use for nachos or tacos or tostadas, those kind of things. I do have V8 drinks that I'm hoping to find a recipe online to use those up. And we have chili garlic sauce, which I had to buy a whole tub for one recipe, and I haven't touched it since. So I'm gonna look online and try and find a recipe that also uses that. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and work with what we've got. So now I'm just gonna look at my meal ideas, and for sure I know that the kiddo loves shepherd's pie. So I am gonna put shepherd's pie on here on one day, and I just kind of just start filling in, really, like. And then the only other thing that I really try and do is, if I'm gonna have ground beef here, I try not to put ground beef here. I like to kind of space out my meat to give us lots of variety. And as I'm going through, then what I do is I just kind of check off what I'm using up. I have tacos, so I'm using up my taco shells. Shepherd's pie, so I'm using up one of my ground beefs. And I'm also going to use up one of my mashed potatoes. Chicken pot pie, I'm gonna use up, there's 2 pie shells, so I'm gonna use up just one of them for that, with one of the chicken breasts. And the potatoes I don't really number, but I have plenty of them, so they're fine. And I just keep going through and filling it in. So I mentioned that I wanted to use up some of the V8 drinks that I had in the fridge. So I just went to my All Recipes app and searched up V8, and this Spanish rice came up. I have onion, I have garlic, I have vegetable oil, I have rice, I have bouillon so I can make the broth, 1 cup of vegetable juice such as V8, and taco seasoning I have. So this actually sounds really good. All right, so now that I have filled in my plan for the month, this is when I'm going to go through and just look at everything I've planned and just make a quick list of anything that I might need. So for my shepherd's pie, I have potatoes at home, I have the ground beef at home, and I have carrots. So really, I have everything for that meal already. The butter chicken, I have chicken in the freezer, I have lots of rice, and I also have carrots, and I do have some peas in the freezer as well. That meal is complete. It doesn't have to be pretty and perfect, just as long as your ideas are on the page. For me, I hate having to spend the majority of my day being like, oh goodness, what am I gonna make for dinner? What am I gonna make for dinner? What am I gonna make for dinner? This, it's on there. I don't have to think about it. It's, oh, we're having chicken kebabs? Okay, I gotta pull the chicken kebabs out of the freezer. It's really simple. It makes my life so much easier, and that's why I do it this way. I don't have to follow this to the T. I don't have to have tacos on October 7th. I can have anything else, but just these are the meals that I can make with what's in my freezer and what's in my pantry, what's available to me right now. So if I'm not feeling tacos on the 7th and I want to have hot dogs instead, I switch them. Go ahead. It's the point of this is to make your life easy. It's to come up with a bunch of meals that you can make with what you have on hand right now. I'll probably do one other grocery run, maybe on the 17th or 18th, just to get some more fresh produce to add in to any of this, just so I can kind of serve some stuff, serve that with a salad. All right, so while I was editing this bad boy, I was thinking to myself, as a beginner, a month is probably really hard to do. So, I challenge you to just do a week. Just meal plan a week and take your extra little bit in your grocery budget to purchase some extra things for next week. And that'll help you build up what you have at home in your freezer and in your pantry. I'm hoping this video was somewhat helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.